In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and specially merciful, welcome back, dear students, to the third week lecture. I hope you are all doing well and you are safe and sound with your family members. In this week, we will be studying these topics. In previous lecture, we discussed about adverb, right? Last week, we talked about adverb and its definition. And this week we will be talking about some of the types of adverbs, frequency, adverb of frequency or frequency adverbs, adverb of time, and we will also study preposition and some types of prepositions inshallah in this chapter. So let's get started then. Okay. So first we have adverb. We studied the types of and all these things about adverb, right? Okay, so these are the types of adverbs. We will not study all of them. We will not study all of them in this semester. Some other types will be discussed inshallah in upcoming semester. In this semester we will be studying adverb of place, adverb of time, and adverb of frequency. Okay, so first of all, let's start with adverb of time and place. Adverbs of time and place, we call that. Okay, adverb of time, adverb of place, and adverb of time. From the name, it's clear that adverb of time shows the time, right? So here we say adverb of time, right? From the name, it's clear, and adverb of place. So let's see. First of all, let's study what are adverb of places. Are those adverbs used to show location of an action and usually answers the question of where. In simple words, let's break down this definition in word file. Okay, let's see what are adverbs. Adverb of place. So we say adverbs of place. So what are adverb of place? In definitions, we've got two things, right? What do we have? We've got two things. Are those adverbs used to show location? Those adverbs used to show location of an action and usually answers the where WH question word. So there are two things that we should discuss. The first one is adverbs of place show location. Adverb of place, what does adverb of place do? Adverb of place show location. And second, it usually answers the where WH question. It answers where WH question. Okay, so these two things are very important. An adverb or a word which show location will be called adverb of place, or a word which answers the where WH question word, we call that adverb of place. For example, you see the examples are already in this line. So you see, you check this out. He works in the office. He works in the office. So look at this. If I ask the question, where does he work? So you would say he works in the office. So the office answers the where WH question word. And the word office also shows the place. So a word which answers the where WH question word, or a word which shows the place, we call that adverb. So what type of adverb? Adverb of place. Okay, she lives in Australia. So she lives in Australia. If I ask you the question, where does she live? You will answer me, she lives in Australia. So the Australia answers the where WH question word, or it shows location as well. A word which answers where WH question word and a word which shows location, we call that adverb of time. I hope you understood. Okay, so I'll give you some other examples here in the word file. So I say I saw her in the park. So now you tell me which one is the adverb of place. Yeah, if you are guessing that the park is adverb of place, then you are right, because far shows location and it also answers the where WH question word. For example, if I ask you, where did you see her? So you might say, I saw her in the park. So the park, it shows it either shows location and it both shows location and also it answers the where WH question word. For example, I say he was caught in where? In Kabul. He was caught in Kabul. So Kabul is here adverb of place. Why? Because it shows location and also answer the where WH question word. I hope you understood this, students. Now let's move on to the adverb of time. Adverbs of time, right, are those adverbs used to show the time of an action and usually answers the WH question word when, okay, or when, or answer the question of when. So adverb of time, from the name it's clear, or the name implies all the meaning. So the adverb of time are those adverbs which show the time of an action, and it also answers the when WH question word. Where place answers where, and adverb of time answers the when. Okay, he will go tomorrow. He will go tomorrow. When? Tomorrow. You see this? When. If I ask you when will he go, he will go tomorrow. So this tomorrow is adverb of time. Why do you say it's adverb of time? Because it shows the time, and it also answers the when WH question words. Okay, dear students, see the other example. They have not gone to Kabul lately. They have not gone to Kabul lately. It's also, you see that lately is adverb of time. Why? Because it answers the when WH question word. شغلان عزیز قیدهای جای ما میگیم، ادگارهای جای، قیدها را میگیم که جای را نشان میده و where WH question word یعنی کجا این WH question word را جواب میده. همینطور adverb of time که از قیدهای وقت که است و ما وقت نشان میده و همچنان چی وقت این سوال را با شما جواب میده. Let's go to the examples. We can say many examples. Let's make some more examples on adverbs of time. So some more examples. Yesterday, remember, tomorrow, ago, today, next week, last week, etc. These are all adverb of time. They show the answers when WH question word. The answers what? When WH question word. For example, if I say we are coming today. We are coming today. If I say we are coming today, so this today shows the time. So a word which shows the time, we call it adverb of time, right? So this today shows the time, so we call it adverb of time. Understood this? And also answers, if I say when are you coming, you say today. Today answers the when WH question word. A word which answers when WH question word, or a word which shows time, we call that adverb of time. Understood this, students? For example, I say she have gone, she has gone to, or she has been making okay, let's change this word. She has been teasing Ali lately. She has been teasing Ali lately. So this lately, when? Lately. So this is adverb of time. Why? Because it shows the time of an action. So I hope you understood, dear students. This was about adverb and adverb of time, right? So I hope you understood. Now if you have any questions about adverb of time and adverb of place, you are most welcome to ask. Now the next thing we are going to study is adverb of frequency, right? Or they are also called frequency adverbs. Adverbs of frequency or frequency adverbs. So what are they? Adverb of frequency adverbs are those adverbs used to show how many times an action happens, or used to show the repetition of an action. Let's break the definition down. So are those adverbs to show how many times an action happens and are used to show the repetition of an action. Okay, شاگردان عزیز ما میگیم که قیدهای تکراری قیدهای هستند که به ما نشان میدهد که یک عمل چند دفعه واقع میشه و یا هم استعمال میشه که به ما نشان بدهد تکرار یک عمل. قیدهایی که تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهد رو ما adverb frequency میگیم. این قیدهایی که به ما نشان میدهد که یک عمل چند دفعه واقع میشه این ما شما adverb of frequency میگیم. I hope you understood. An adverb which shows the repetition of an action, we use we call them adverb of frequency. An adverb which shows the repetition of an action, we call that adverb of frequency. Okay, let's go through the examples. You see this, there are examples, but before we come to examples, let's talk about the kinds of adverbs of frequency. Before we come to the kinds of adverb of frequency, let me give you some examples in a Word file. We will move on here. What do we have? Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. Okay, adverbs of frequency. For example, always is an adverb of frequency. It answers how often an action, how many times an action happens, or how often an action happens. Itself, often, or usually. These are some of the examples. Usually, right? Twice. These are adverb of frequency. We'll come to its type later on. Let me give example. Let me give you examples and let's determine that how it shows the repetition of an action. For example, if I say you always come late. See, this is a complaining sentence. Here the speaker complains. You're coming late. This is the action. You know, if I hide this always and I say, let's hide the word always. So suppose there's no always. You say you come late, you come late, you come late. There is no any word which shows the repetition of an action. But if I say you always come late, so this word shows the repetition of an action. So we say you always. How often? How often does an action happen? It happens always. Your late coming happens always. But if I say you come late, it means only today. Maybe today or 2 days you come late. Okay, or for the time being you are coming late. But if I say you always come late, so here this word shows the repetition of the action which is coming late. Let me give you another example. For example, I say I watched this movie. Okay, or I say I watched KHNH movie twice. If I say I watched KHNH movie twice, it's an Indian movie, right? It's an Indian movie, so it's a Bollywood movie. I watched KHNH twice. If I tell you the reality, I watched that more than twice. I watched that even 17 or 16 times. So now if I say, if I ask you, how often or how many times did you watch KHNH movie? So you say twice. So the word twice answers the how many times an action happens. So a word which answers the how many times an action happens, we call that adverb of frequency. So this twice is adverb of frequency. So it answers the how often, and it also shows the repetition of an action, or it also shows how many times an action happens. How many times an action happened? An action happened twice, 2 times, right? So that's what. Now let's move on to the kinds of frequency adverbs. So you see the kinds of frequency adverbs. We have definite frequency adverbs, and then we have indefinite frequency adverbs. So let's study first definite frequency adverbs. Show exact repetition of an action and categorized into 2 subparts. So what does adverb of frequency, definite frequency show? They show the exact repetition of an action. ما شما میگم شاگردان عزیز اقسامی kinds of adverb of frequency، اقسامی قیدهای تکراری دو قسم است، یکیش از معلوم که اینها که از معلوم تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهد و در دو طبقه طبقه بندی شده هستند، right؟ فرعی طبقه البته. So there are it showed that if anyone asks you what is a definite frequency adverb, tell them that definite frequency adverbs are types of frequency adverbs which show the exact repetition of an action, and they are they are categorized into two subparts. So first we have got periodic, and second we have numeric. So first let's study periodic. Periodic shows the period of time and ends in ly. It ends in ly, right? So they are frequency adverbs of definite frequency adverbs. In definite frequency adverbs they are called periodic, okay? For example, hourly, daily, monthly, annually. For example, I say my boss asks me about my she asks for daily report. My boss asks for daily report. So here the action happens every day, so it's a daily, but it does not show but it shows the exact repetition when daily. For example, hourly, if you go to suppose Bark restaurant, they will charge you hourly. So hourly is what is a frequency adverb. Is in frequency adverbs a definite frequency adverb. In definite frequency adverb it's a periodic, okay, and ends with ly. Second, we have numeric frequency adverb, show number of repetition. In case the show period of time, in case یک وقت عمل یک وقت یک فعل را نشان میدهد که با الوای خلاص میشه، مثلا ساعت، روزمره، ماهانه و سالانه، این چیزا هستن. و دیگه که شما داریم شو نمبر اف رپیتیشن، اینا که د نمبر رپیتیشن د نمبر نشان میده. تکرار یک عمل د عدد نشان میده. For example, once, twice, thrice, or it's also called sometimes 3 times, 4 times, so on, right? 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 30 times, 10 times, 1,000 times, etc. There are so many, right? For example, a position, like for example, I give you example of this. For example, I say, I told him 10 times not to make absenteeism. So here I told him 10 times not to make absenteeism. So it means the action happened 10 times. So 10 times the frequency adverb. In frequency adverb, it's a different frequency adverb. In different frequency adverb, it's a numeric because it shows the repetition of an action in number. So position, mostly where do we use them? In position موقعیتش در کجا استفاده میشه؟ Mostly use them at the end of a sentence. معمولا کس اینها که است البته frequency different frequency adverbs که هستن در آخر یک جمله استفاده میشه، در آخر جمله، right? And adverb of indefinite که است دیگه اقسامش از indefinite. Definite هم خواندیم ولی indefinite نامعلوم رو میخوانیم. Show the percentage of an action and categorize into two subparts. They show the percentage. اونا که بود exact number معلوم مقدار نشان، معلوم تکرار نشان میداد. حالا این که تکرار معلوم تکرار نشان نمیده، البته تکرار عمل را در فیصد نشان میده. Right? It shows the percentage of an action and categorized into two subparts. You check this first. We have positive and next we have negative, but first we'll say positive. Show more than 50% repetition and use in all kinds of sentences. Positive case then case case 50% زیاد از 50% تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهد، right؟ و اینا case 4 دانه است. All kinds of sentence. Okay, sorry, and used in all kinds of sentence. و در هر قسم جمله استفاده میشه. این کیس تکرار مطلب پوزیتیو مثبت که است، تکرار از 50% بیشتر تکرار به ما نشان میدهد و در هر قسم جمله اینها استفاده شده میداند. You see, always shows the 100% repetition, usually 80 to 90, often 6 to 70, sometimes 50 to 60, etc. So these are frequency, indefinite frequency adverbs because they show the repetition of an action in what? In percentage. Okay, good. You see negative. Negative show less than 50% repetition, and we cannot use them word not with them. اینا که است کمتر از 50% تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهد و کرتیز اینها این قیدها ما نوت کلمه را استفاده نمی کنیم. چرا استفاده نمی کنیم؟ به خاطر که خودش منفی است، دبل منفی ما استفاده کردن نمیتونیم. Why we do not use not word here? Because they are themselves negative. So in order to like make negative, so they are themselves used as a negative form. We don't use them in with not negation adverb is not used as them. So examples In her case, and hardly ever shows the repetition of an action 15 to 20, seldom 10 to 15, rarely 1 to 10, and never shows the 0% repetition of an action. Never shows the 0%. يعني هيك تكرار نعمل نشان نبي ده. Okay, so see this. وده کجا استفاده میشه؟ position of indefinite frequency adverbs ده کجا استفاده میشه؟ یعنی کدام جای جمله استفاده میشه؟ auxiliary verb plus adverb after auxiliary verb بعد از auxiliary verb استفاده میشه. مثلا I have never played ping pong. So see, this is auxiliary verb of present perfect tense, or this is perfective auxiliary. Never is a definite frequency adverb. It is used after auxiliary verb. Is, were, was, were, there, and after to be verbs. After to be verbs we use them. They are never used before to be verb. Remember, after to be verb. They are often late to work. They are often late to work. So here are is a to be verb, and often is used after verb. Often is auxiliary. Often is frequency adverbs. Adverb plus other verbs. He always comes late to class. So see, always, and remember that في الهوكس and في الهاي main verb as you know قابل استفادة مشه patient نشان استفادة مشه for emphasizing. Like always, always is a verb, and always comes as a verb, and always is adverb of frequency. It is used before that. Adverb plus complete sentence. Complete sentence. We can also use at the beginning. Only sometimes is used here. For example, they go to cinema. So sometimes is an adverb of frequency. It shows the repetition of an action in percentage. It's an indefinite frequency adverb. So it is used at the beginning. So the sometimes has the other positions as well. Okay, so it can be used at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of a sentence. There is a short note. Let's go through the short notes. Always is rarely found at the beginning of the sentence, but only in imperative sentence. Always هم در آغاز جمله استفاده شده میتونه بسیار کم و این کیس فقط در جمله امریه استفاده میشه. امریه جمله که ما کسی امر میکنیم. Always come on time. با کسی میگه always come on time. It is used at the beginning. And فقط sometimes است که در مختلف جای مختلف position دارد. It has different position. It can be used at the beginning and it can be used at the end. در اول استفاده شده میتونه و در آخرم. Let's give examples of the word sometime. Sometime case frequency adverb است. It has three positions. Sorry. It can be used at the beginning, در آغاز جمله, and at the end, in the middle, and at the end. Now let's make examples. First, at the beginning, I say sometimes we see each other. Sometimes we see each other. You see, sometimes is used here at the beginning of a sentence, right? Because it shows the repetition of an action, right? With no difference in meaning. It can also be used, the same sentence can also be used in the middle. Let's see. We sometimes see each other. We sometimes see each other. See here, sometimes is used in the middle of the sentence, right? And like ما میگه یگان ما یک دیگر میگه ده معنیش کدوم فرق نمیاد. اینجا در آغاز جمله، اینجا در مابین جمله, and the last one will be at the end of the sentence. For example, I say we see each other sometimes. Okay, sometimes at the end, but comma is here optional. You can use it or you can remove it. So we say that we see each other sometimes. It can be used, but it's better to use comma here, or sometimes it's not. It's up to you, right? So dear student, this was our today's lecture. I hope you understood. If you have any question and suggestion, you are most welcome to ask. So if there are any questions, never hesitate to ask the question from a teacher, because this way you will learn more. I hope you understood about today's lecture. Wish you all the best, students. Stay safe and happy.